guys, welcome back to the Lights Off podcast. We're on episode 10 now. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe. But today, pretty fortunate, got one of, I reckon, one of the greats in rugby league, a good friend of mine as well, Linda Itunu. Sis, thank you so much for jumping on today.
Cool, thanks, Sus. Yeah, it's good to be here. And just to correct you, it's not rugby league, it's rugby
Oh,
union.
sorry. Yeah, just chucking it out there.
Oh, come on, you're
contracts,
talking, you're talking to too many famous
I
rugby
know.
league players, that's why.
Sorry, now we got the real one. We got the real one on.
Not even.
But for those who might not know who you are, sis, can you just give us a bit of an intro, who you are, where you grew up, and things like that?
Oh, yeah. Cool. So my name's Linda Itunu. Grew up out in the west in Auckland. Born and bred out these ways. Come from a family of 8. 4 girls, 4 boys. Started rugby at a very young age, and I actually played league first, not rugby. So
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, that's probably why you said that.
Yeah.
You're reading me.
Epic. And when you started playing, was there like anyone that kind of just inspired you to start, or you just kind of wanted to give it a go?
I think when I was younger, like my brother, one of my older brothers, his name's Fred. Me and him were quite big when we were young, and it was kind of like the only sport that we could use our size. So that's pretty much how how it started. Apart from the fact that I was a bit of a naughty person in school, like I was a bully or got into fights, so it was kind of the only way you could. Yeah, I don't encourage it. I'm not a bully. Like I didn't encourage their lifestyle.
They're just starting grade, ain't it?
Hey, you wanted a real
Hey, it's
story.
real,
I'm
mate.
just
It's
telling
real.
you the real story here. But yeah, and it was kind of like the only way you could like hurt people but not get into trouble.
Yeah.
But that's not why I started. It was actually in intermediate I got my first taste of rugby. We were playing bull rush, and there was this kid in school, and his name was Tonka, and like during lunchtime he'll be playing bull rush, but he'll get through everyone. And then one of them were like, "Oh, you should come and play bull rush and at lunchtime." And I was like, "Oh, nah." And then I didn't even know why I went. And then I went and played bull rush, and I hit Tonka. And then from there, I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh my God.
Oh, that's my earliest memory of like any type of contact.
Yeah. Oh,
So I reckon that's where the seed was planted there.
Yeah.
And then my brother inspired me as I grew up.
Oh, epic.
Yeah.
So you played so through intermediate into college, or how did that go through?
I didn't play in intermediate. I reckon that bull rush game. Thank you, Tonka. I actually Facebooked him because I remembered his first name.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
I Facebooked. I was like, oh, hey, I know this is a bit random, but just wanted to say thank you, for like, I'm where I am because of you. Like it's just something I felt like I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think all of those things along the way is a contributing factor of like my career and how I've done in it. So yeah, I reckon that, and I think I just totally forgot what your question was.
No, you're all good. See, that
You'll
was
get
the
a bit
start
of
in
this during our
intermediate.
convo.
No, that's all good. And then college as well. Firstly, where did you go? And then did you play footy in college?
Yeah, so I went Custom Girls high school,
That's cool.
and yeah, I started on Form 3. So in school I was like about 108 kgs, and
True.
yeah, I was 108 kgs number 8,
Yeah.
but I was one of those number 8s that the ruck will be over like the far side of the field. By the time I got to that side, the ruck was on the other side. So I was pretty much spending the whole game trying to chase like rucks. So I didn't really do much, to be honest.
Baby steps, say humble beginnings.
But no, it was cool because I realized that I really enjoyed playing, and my brother was training as well, so he kind of dragged me along the way, and that's pretty much how I got into rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the competition back then at school like quite strong? Was like there many schools involved in the girls' comp?
Yeah, there was actually yeah, there were quite a few schools. Like we had Otahu, Onehunga, Auckland Girls Grammar, they were mean. Epsom Girls, um, I think Selwyn College, Marcelin,
Oh
like all
wow.
those. Yeah, there were
Yeah.
quite a few teams. I think at the time that in our era it was like Auckland Girls that were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, epic. And obviously playing through school, did you know about like women's rugby? And then was it kind of really talked about, or was it something like you just thought just at school, just play till school?
Yeah, I think when I was in school, they had like Tony Hanks, who he's part of the um, Blues Blues team, so part of the defensive side there. So when he first introduced me to rugby, and Anna Richards, they come in and they did some coaching clinics,
Yeah, cool.
and that was my first exposure to like um, top level coaching type of coaching, and then I got introduced to like I didn't know that there was an Auckland women's team. I didn't know that there was a Black Ferns team, but that was my first encounter of it. And I remember when Anna took us, and I was like, man, I don't really like this woman, like because she was making us like do all these
She's
drills
tough,
and
eh?
like run and all that kind of stuff. And it's funny because I told her like when I made it into the Auckland team, I remember telling her, oh, I didn't really like you at first, but you're all goods.
She probably just shrugged it off, eh?
Yeah, but it wasn't very popular back then.
Mm,
Yeah, there wasn't as much exposure as there is now.
yeah,
But that's all good. I mean, someone's got to, be a trailblazer or
yeah,
help get the game where it is now. So, yeah.
yeah, for sure. And then obviously you would have stepped into women's rugby. So talk us through that. Like I guess the beginning of your, like I guess you'd say professional career. How did it
Yeah.
start? And where did you begin to where you are now?
I think it did start in school. I think in my early days of school, like I ended up like getting into trouble. Like like I mentioned before, I was a bit of a naughty person, so I got into trouble. I ended up getting into this massive ass fight in the bus depot, and yeah, I was sticking up for one of my mates,
Yeah,
and that was weird because like in that moment, like I was like getting gang bashed, like, and I just come out of a scratch, but I remember just getting punched and all that kind of stuff. But like at that moment, my cousin come and grabbed me out of the fight, and I jumped on a bus, and I was sitting on the bus. I was like, man, what am I doing with my life? Like it was weird as. And then
yeah,
like from that moment, like I just ended up getting going to church,
yeah,
and I think that's where it all started. It planted a seed in me, and I just started like um thinking about what I want to do. I think I was quite like real mature for my age
yeah,
back then, so I kind of knew what I really wanted to do. But I think that really helped me like find my purpose.
yeah,
So at a young age, I knew I wanted to be a Blackburn, and from there, I just like when I woke up, that used to be my thing. Like I used to have a poster on my wall of the Auckland women's team.
yeah.
Not
Oh
a
my gosh,
poster. It was like
same.
like a
Newspaper.
little,
It was a
not
little
even a, no, it
newspaper.
was like a little postcard,
Oh, true.
like little postcard, yeah, of Auckland, the Auckland women's team. And then I
Yeah,
had a Black Ferns poster, and it was a one of the fern.
yeah,
So I had two of them, and like I think when I started getting serious about rugby and training on my brother, like I really started believing that I would be a Black Fern.
yeah,
And I used to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a Black Fern when I'm 19. Like that was my mentality.
yeah.
So I used to like get up in the morning, and I was like, thank you, Lord, for my position in the Auckland team. This
Oh,
is
sick.
me at this is me at 18. And
Yeah,
then I was like, oh yeah. Then I used to do that every day. And then when I made that team, I took the postcard down for the Auckland team, and then I started saying thank you, Lord, for my position in the Black Ferns team.
yeah. That's
And
cool.
like I swear, like all glory, like honestly, all glory to God. But I reckon that's the reason why I ended up making the team. I made the Black Ferns team and the Auckland team in the same year.
Oh, epic. That
So
that's so
that's how my
cool.
journey. Yeah, that's how my journey started.
Yeah. No, epic. And then obviously when you went into the Auckland team first, like if you can remember back, like how was that feeling when obviously you've been talking to yourself in the mornings to
Yeah.
make that squad, and then when you finally got the call up, like how was that?
Now that was mean. Like obviously, it's not just about talking, getting up and talking about it. There's work that needs to be done. Like
Yeah,
that, like faith without deeds. You know, like you
yeah,
actually have to do work. I know my brother helped me quite a bit. We used to run like early hours of the morning before school,
yeah.
even lunchtime. Crazy, but lunchtime
Wow,
he'll
we
come get me, run at lunchtime, and then after school. Like it was quite like there was a lot of work that was done. So when I got that call up, I was real grateful. In our first training, I always tell people about this. You know, when you go through school and you're like, I'm not saying that I was a star player, but I was doing really well in school rugby, like
yeah,
school level. So when you go into the environment, you know, as a young person, you're like cocky, as like not cocky, but you're confident. You're
real
like, oh yeah,
confident.
man,
Yeah,
bro, yeah, like bro, I'm comfortable. Like I'm mean.
all of these try. No,
Like don't say it, but in my head, I was like, oh man,
yeah,
I think yeah, I can do good here. And it was funny because I went to like run the ball up to the pad because I didn't know any of the players.
oh
And
yeah,
bro, I went out and I went to run it straight, and I just like the woman holding the pad, I just went like this, bang, and I just went flying backwards. And then she comes over me and stands over me and she goes, "Oh, welcome to the storm."
oh
And
my
that was Helen.
gosh.
That was Helen Baanga, bro. And I tell her, she just cracks up, and I said to her, thank you, because that day, like, I was like,
Humbled.
yeah, this is a different league, and yeah, it humbled me heaps. But those girls, like, going into the environment, they're not about themselves. They just like
Yeah,
like they took me under their wing, taught me everything that they knew. That's why, like, one of my players I look up to is Rochelle Martin, because
yeah,
we play the same position,
yeah,
but as soon as I was there, she was helping me out. You know, Anna Richards and yeah, those guys like really um they really look after you, and I think that's what I love the most about the Storm
yeah.
environment.
Yeah, for sure. And the Storm culture is like obviously passed down even to now is real strong. And that how do you
Yeah.
guys I guess cultivate that culture or drive it? I know you probably have a leadership group in there as well. So
Yeah.
so how does that work, or who drives that within that Storm culture?
Um, yeah, a lot of it, obviously, like you said, it's been passed down, so it's not something that we've just conjured up. But I know that, you know, the culture is evolving, and obviously you can't just use the old because things have changed. But I think it's important that you add your own flavor based on the makeup of your current team.
Yeah,
Um, but the people that drive that, obviously, as the players, it's important that the management support it. So if the management aren't keen, or like the coaches aren't about that, then it's not going to work.
yeah,
But if you get buy-in from everyone, and like everyone buys into the values, because it's not, culture is like about, you know, having standards, you know, like things that like hand up, not hand out,
that's cool.
things about like not cutting corners, like little things like that,
Yeah,
turning up on time. um I think the cool thing is we even incorporate stuff like social club,
oh cool.
even church group as well, like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Like it's real cool. That's something that I think has filtered down from Black Ferns into Storm as well.
yeah.
So yeah, I think, yeah, if the players got to drive it, because the players are the ones that drive decision making and all that on the field. So that's why it's important that with the culture, like that will just what do you call it, trickle down to on field stuff.
Yeah. And like how have you guys found that? Like in terms of translating that to on field, the work
Yeah,
that you guys do off the field, like do you guys do team bonding and things like that within the
yeah,
Storm? Obviously
yeah,
this year's a bit hard with COVID and that, but in previous seasons, like you had a bit more
yeah,
time to come together.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely. I think a lot of teams do heart sessions, so not those
Oh yeah.
not those deep and meaningfuls, like not those.
There's
Even though you might have those ones in the, like
Mm.
the girls like have that, but yeah, we have like heart sessions, as in like, go to those dark places together, do
Yeah.
those hard like conditioning sessions. And I think that's when relationships are built, because
Yeah.
rugby is about relationships. Like if you got your each other off the field, you got each other's backs on the field. So
Yeah.
I
100%.
think culture is massive. Like if you can get that right,
Yeah.
the field stuff, you don't even have to worry about it. It'll take care of itself.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. And obviously I've seen the culture in the Storm has obviously grown throughout the years, and obviously FPC is coming up too, so that's pretty cool that we're pretty
Yeah,
fortunate in this country to still play footy amongst
yeah,
the pandemic. Who would have thought? But
yeah, hard out.
then obviously you moved into Black Ferns as
Yeah,
well. And there's so much pride in any sport in New Zealand for
mm,
that black jersey or whatever sport, whether it's netball or cricket or whatever. But for
yeah.
you, like, how was that? What did it mean to you when you finally got the call up for the black jersey, and also what did it mean for your family as well? So obviously would have been driving you a lot and encouraging you.
Yeah, 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 hard out. Like, I think like my mentality, and I know I don't know if maybe a lot of the girls' mentalities are kind of the same, but for me, like it doesn't matter what jersey you wear, um, your why is always the same.
Yeah,
So whether their colors black and blue for your club, it doesn't matter. Like the reason why you play is always the same, and I think it's not so much playing in the black jersey, even though for me it's like a superhero, like it's like putting your superhero gear on, like you're like
yeah,
Wonder Woman or whatever you want to be.
yeah,
But for me, what the jersey represents is what matters. So what it represents for me is my family, like sacrificing their time. Oh, getting emotional. I'm like,
Oh, we're
those
going there.
those that know me know that I'm a sock. Nah, but
No,
yeah,
that's cool.
definitely like, like I remember there's 8 of us, so
Yeah,
sometimes, my parents, like we have one vehicle. My dad, like I always tell the story about my dad's Mitsubishi Chariot,
yeah.
how it was an automatic, but the man wanted to change it into a manual, so he like changed the whole engine. And we're on our way, like we just come from my league game. We played Papatoetoe, sorry, Fia Papatoe, or who am I?
Feel follow.
And Fia Palangi guy. But we were driving to church, and in the chariot, the wheel came flying off. And I was like, oh, mate, honestly, I was like, man, we went to the rugby game, came back, and yeah, but that was an early, but stuff like that, when you represent a black jersey, it's like the pinnacle of like the top team in New Zealand, in the world. Like you think about the people that have helped you get there, the sacrifices that you're not the only one making sacrifices, it's them.
Yeah,
But not only that, the girls that you've played alongside that have helped you propel you to your career. Like I think
yeah,
that's what the black jersey means to me. So when I got it, I was like, man, when I play, I'm gonna play for those guys. So
yeah.
yeah, getting a let's move along, move along,
So you're crying, not
move
me
along,
now.
move along.
No, that's so
Woo.
cool though. I actually remember I think it was probably the most recent World Cup, the 2017 one. I think they did like a video for you and Dora from your family, and that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like the shout outs, and I'm sure like in those times you think obviously of your family, obviously being away as well on
mm,
tour. But on those World Cups, especially that one, being able to do it with your sister, like
yeah.
you probably get asked this a lot, but how was it being able to? I don't think there's many people that can say they've done a World Cup with their sibling. That would have been something real
Yeah,
special.
yeah, I know. Like, I think it was like a real blessing for me to even be there, because, like, people don't know this, because I probably shouldn't have actually gone to the World Cup, because about 3 weeks before we took off, I got like a real bad injury, my hammy. Like I partially torn tendons off both of my hamstrings.
Yeah.
So it was a risk for my coaches to take me there.
Yeah.
So like me being there, and I was like, man, this is weird. Like I'm not playing mini games. Like like
Yeah.
it was like I had, but it was cool because I guess like it's as a player you might think, oh man, I have to play in order to contribute to the team, but your contribution can be like, being positive or talking to players or bringing that morale to training,
Yeah.
doing the little things like, and I guess for me that was my part in this World Cup was
Yeah.
like, staying positive, getting around our players, like up, like making sure everyone's all good. And for me, with my younger sister, like even though that was a bit different for me, but it was so cool to witness her. Like I felt like she just had an awesome World Cup,
Yeah.
and I got to be in the front seat to see
Yeah,
that.
sure.
And I think it was like kind of like a launch of like her career, her playing career. And
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me, it was like a blessing to even get on the plane and be there, but even to be there to witness my sister like just like blow the world,
Yeah.
blow them away with like her skills and her talent. Because I honestly think she's real talented, like
Yeah.
one of the best props in the world. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
100%.
because I'm biased, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that because she's super talented. And it was just cool. It was just cool to see her and witness her. Um, just be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. And obviously amongst Black Ferns and Auckland Storm, but even like club in there as well. Can you think of a few like memorable moments that would really stand out for you amongst your whole footy career?
Oh, definitely winning the Coleman Shield this year.
Let's
That's one of my
go.
highlights. Yeah, it's weird, because I haven't even like expressed how I felt. Like I haven't seen anything, but like seriously, that's one of my career highlights. Just ticking boxes off with my younger sister.
Yeah.
My latter date like on my like towards the end of my career.
Yeah.
And I think it's just one of my biggest memories is when my parents come to our game in Rotorua, like
Yeah.
our first game together, me and my sister, because our parents don't really come overseas, but
Yeah.
this was the first live game that they were able to see us both play,
Yeah.
which
Cool.
is that was one of the best memories.
Is that was that with Black Ferns or with just club or in
Oh,
Storm?
with Black
Oh
Ferns,
yeah.
because Black Ferns don't really have home games.
Yeah.
So it was cool to have like them be there and me and Dora playing together,
Yeah.
even though we lost, but that's not the point.
That's right. That is not the main
As
point.
long as we won the World Cup.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll take that. Actually, you touched on the club footy for a bit, and
Yeah,
obviously congratulations with that one. It had been a long time
yeah,
obviously
man.
coming. How long have you been with the club?
Since 2003, so since I left, I'm a bit
Oh,
old, so I finished school in 2002, and so 2003, I started at Ponsonby. So ever since I left school, I've been there.
yeah.
My first actual club was Roskell District, and then I
Okay.
went to Waitemata after that. So I was playing club in high school.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And
Yeah.
obviously being with the Phillies and that, what keeps you loyal to the club? 'Cause obviously some players in that go to different clubs for different reasons and that. But for you, what made you want to stay with Phillies for so long?
That's my family, man. Like
Yeah.
it's like a family club, but I think it's just more the relationships you build there, the friendships you make along the way. Like I don't know, I just don't feel right going to another club.
Yeah.
But yeah, I I love their club so much. Like there's been many times where I've tried to stop playing, but I always want to go back. I guess now is just more from a different position, so more
Yeah.
coaching aspect. Um, Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer because it's like something that I can't control because I'm just drawn to Ponsonby. But
Yeah,
mainly it's the relationships and the friendships that, like, you always say, like players that become sisters, but it's like honestly, you do become sisters, and it's
yeah, for
to
sure.
a point where it's not surface relationships. Like it's real, genuine, and like you can just go to this one. Hey, you're playing up. What's going on? Like it's
That's
it's
true
no.
though.
Hey, what's going on with your life, eh? No, but
Hey,
it's
what are you
like
doing
real.
on your Instagram? Hey, they call you out, man.
But it's cool as like yeah, I think that's why it's just real genuine relationships. It's um have like issues like family, but man, we're all tight, and I think that's what I love about that club.
Yeah, and it's not just with the women's team, but the club as a whole is very supportive of your
Yeah,
guys footy and that as well. Obviously
yeah,
the ones higher up in the club, but then the men's as well. They're quite supportive, and has it
yeah.
always been that way?
I think it did go, or hasn't always been that way. I
Yeah,
remember when I first come into the club, you had the likes of Nick Buckledge, Ala and Fina
yeah,
and Hamida, like, and I remember back then, man, I was so like, when you talk about family, that's what you're talking about is those guys, and I want to acknowledge Nick because he's been um an advocate for women's rugby
yeah, 100%.
I first got there. Like, you have these people that have come in now, but he's been supporting the women's game since I first went to the club. So um, when I thought of like a club and how it should feel like, I always think of that first time I stepped into Ponsonby and those guys were there.
Yeah,
Fina was a bit rowdy, but it's all good. That's Fina, and but they look after you, like even the Prem team. They're like everyone's tight. You walk in, you can have a conversation with like your brother in another team, or
yeah,
um yeah. So it was like that back then. It kind of went a bit like we lost it a bit, but
yeah,
it's finally coming back, which is
yeah,
real cool.
cool.
It's a real positive. But yeah, definitely a lot. It's definitely progressing, and it's getting a lot better.
Yeah, no, epic. And you guys, this year you seem to have a lot of young ones as well. Do you guys like how do you recruit those young ones? Do some of you do some coaching in local schools, or do they just hear about it by word of mouth?
I think that's got to do a lot with our rugby development officer, which is Rocky.
Oh yeah,
So he
cool.
does a lot of karooting. Oh, karooting. I don't know what that is.
Is that a new term, or
Oh,
is that Philly's
is that
term? Or?
a? I don't know. I was like, is that a like a rap? Nah. What's that singer's name? Karuchi or something? I was trying to say Karuchi.
Oh my gosh. Here it is,
Like
folks.
recruiting.
Yeah,
Recruiting, yeah, sorry, I'm a bit fob. But yeah, he did a lot of recruiting. Yeah, if you see him, he's all about the club
yeah,
and welcoming people into the family.
yeah.
We have the likes of Ella, who is also a current Black Ferns player and the Auckland Storm captain, while she's
That's
doing a bit of coaching in Epsom girls. So she
yeah,
brings some of her players as well.
yeah, cool.
Um, yeah, but majority of them are just like, I guess, with how we've done in the past, like last year, maybe like girls are just bringing friends
Yeah,
to
cool.
training.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of the recruiting with the young girls is what Rocky's done with the through his recruitment or
yeah.
Karudi.
Or reading. Either or, whatever works. Eh?
Whatever works.
Whatever works. And obviously this year you like I mentioned you did take a bit of a different position as well in the team.
Mm.
What made you want to go into coaching? And then obviously I know you did a bit in Sri Lanka, was it? As
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
which
Sri Lanka and Italy.
in
Yeah,
Italy. Oh, it's just
yeah.
ticking boxes, mate.
Mate, have to.
So we'll start at the club and then we'll go overseas to where you
Oh
went.
no, you don't have to go there. No, yeah, yeah, all good.
But yeah, no, like obviously coaching might not be for every player after like they're coming towards the end of their career. But for you, what made you want to go into coaching?
I think like in my last few years of playing Black Ferns, but like just going through that professional, like yeah, gone blank. Don't worry about that. But yeah, when like my last few years of rugby, like you kind of see these young players coming through, and they have so much potential, but I think we lack like good coaches.
Yeah.
And not saying that I'm a good coach, but why not use what I've learned in the environments that I've been in
Yeah.
and share it with the young ones coming through?
Yeah.
And I think my biggest driver was that I want the young ones that come through to like be a new breed of
Yeah.
athletes.
Yeah. Cool.
Not just like I don't want them to come through and like I've seen it, I'll be real, like these young ones coming through, they got no idea, like probably going into an environment and like think that things can just be given to them.
Yeah.
They don't have to work hard for it because of like me, like I've been there before when
Yeah.
I made the Storm and I thought I was all that,
Yeah.
you know, going into the environment. But
Mm.
like even just like ingraining in them the importance of work ethic and
Yeah. So cool.
you know that it's gonna be, you're gonna have moments that you're gonna have to like work for it. Like you're not gonna get a starting position straight away. You might have to warm the bench up for a couple of seasons before you get that start.
Yeah.
You know, teaching them about resilience and about turning up for the team. And I like for me, I'm all about creating good people. Like
Yeah.
awesome rugby players, but if we can get them young, imagine what our top level rugby players will be like. You don't even
Yeah.
have to deal with that part of the game.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
think that's what drove me, is that I want to coach. Like I think you know, what I've learned, yeah, share it. But I think for me, it's more about making sure we create athletes that are holistic and that can deal with like not being selected,
Yeah.
that are resilient, that are mentally tough, that, you
Yeah.
know, if I don't get picked, all good. It's about the team. It's not about me. But what do I
That's so
need to do
cool.
about it? You know, like I
Yeah.
think, yeah. And so that's why I'm coaching club, because grassroots is the
Yeah.
most important place to start, because they're still young in the game. It's the best place to change habits, and so that when they go through the journey, you know, you've already instilled those good habits and those good values. And
Yeah. For sure.
for me, I know as a player, that's why I've gone as far as I can, because I just made sure that, you know, that doesn't change. Like maybe the environment changes, but who I am as a person doesn't change. And if I can instill that in players coming through and help them get to that top level, then
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of my coaching.
Yeah. Mate, you just dropping gems like left, right, and center, mate.
Gyms and Perusian, Peruting.
Man, no, but it's cool though, because like people obviously go through this, athletes go through it. Some might be going through it right now, and
Yeah,
just like might look at some of you guys that have, you know, been playing Black Panther for ages and just assume that you just got it handed, you know. But to be able
yeah,
to understand that what they're going through, you guys have been through as well, to help
yeah,
them, I think that's so cool.
yeah.
And obviously yourself, you mentioned a few times like some of those I guess challenges you've been through as well. You probably have a whole list, but what are some key challenges or setbacks that you've come across throughout your whole footy career that really tested you, whether it be club or through to obviously your professional side?
Um, sorry, excuse me. I think one of the main ones that people usually go through is injuries.
Yeah.
I think like I've had like so many injuries. I think I've had a serious injury every year,
Oh,
like probably for the first few years of my career. So I've done like I'll do an injury in club, and then I'll make it back just in time for like Storm or Black Ferns.
yeah.
Like like did my knee 2 times, like knee reconstruction, broken ankle, done both shoulders, a few concussions. broken,
How
broken
you've been talking,
ribena.
I feel like there's been a bit more concussion. Don't worry, I can relate to it.
Yeah, but I think that's probably one of the most common setbacks is like, um, and the injury part. But I find that, like I said, like my faith has been a massive part of my journey, and
Yep.
I think luckily I'll, you know, like luckily my faith was so strong that I was always positive. Like I always
Yeah.
thought, nah, like I'm here on a mission. I'm here for a purpose. So
Yeah.
nothing's gonna get in the way of that. And I
Yeah.
guess if you relate it to you as a player and what your dreams are like, and yeah, injury is nothing. Like I guess like if you really want it bad enough, you'll do the work to get there. Like you won't make an excuse about it. And I always think, man, there's people that can't walk anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm lucky I got an injury, but I have potential to walk, to be able to play. So I'll always like, if I need to. I remember when I got an injury and I was like my first knee injury, and I
Yeah.
was like, what the heck was that? I only got on for 2 minutes, went to try and step in, and I did my knee.
Yeah.
And one of the players, it was Ponsonby game, and she was like, oh, you've done your knee like ACL, and I was like, oh, all good, so I'll just play next week. But I didn't realize
I
how
realized.
bad it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it happened, like, and they told me, I was like, I didn't have a why me moment. I kind of thought, man, there's a reason. You know how there's a reason
Yeah.
for everything. I was like, man, I think maybe this is a sign I need to focus on my studies, because I was leaving class early to go trainings. Like there's
Yeah.
always a so I think that's how my mind worked. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I've got this injury, I need to focus on study. So I just focused on study and rehab, and
Yeah.
then I made it back in time for that my first World Cup, which was awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so I've been real blessed. I think, yeah, God's favor has been on me for like my career, which is why I've been able to do what I can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would probably be the main challenge, is my injuries.
Yeah. Injuries, no worries. And like, obviously you mentioned like your faith in that, which help keep you grounded and help see you through those setbacks.
Mm.
Is there anything else that you do like outside of footy that helps you, I guess helps with your mental health, or maybe just helps you wind down when things are a bit tough during footy? Like some people write, some
Yeah.
people read. What's kind of your forte, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not a reader, because I would have.
You would have got the recruiting right.
I would have got recruited. I love to travel away. Like I like traveling. I
Awesome.
like being out of Auckland, but I love traveling because it makes you appreciate home.
Yeah.
And also you see how other people live, and you're like, man, um, you're real great. Like Asia is like just a difference. Like you see elderly working hard out, and then you're like, man, like I'm so grateful. And like
Yeah.
I'm like one of those softies, like I like have perspective about lots of stuff when I go, and I always make it personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, traveling is a massive thing too. I just like, and it's my reset button, so
Yeah.
that if things are crazy, I'm like, oh, I'll get away, and I just go out and not think about anything, just go and have like enjoy myself, like
Yeah.
and I like to write, so I'll go away and I'll just write stuff.
Yeah.
I used to have journals. As funny as I have journals from back in high school, and
Yeah.
I was reading them. Oh my goodness! Do you know what the funny thing is? I had crushes on different people each week.
Oh, no, dude.
All right, no, that's not rugby. Move along, move along. Yeah, I'm a
This
bit of
week,
a
no.
yeah, a bit of a journal writer, like those Dear Diary,
Oh
but not
no.
now. It's kind of changed, a bit mature now.
Oh yeah. We are slowly moving to the reading side.
Yeah, yeah, actual.
Man. What about like in terms of like game day and that, how do you prep in that for your games? What is like pre-game before the night before look,
Yeah.
and what about game day as well?
I think earlier in my career, I was real particular with my game prep.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't do anything the night before. Like I'll be in bed early,
Yeah.
pack my bags, I make sure
Oh
I
my
have
gosh,
9
same.
hours. Yeah. pack my bags, 9 hours sleep, get up, have breakfast, like do my kakalo, like pray and stuff like that, and like bomb the toilet, have to bomb the toilet before I play. That's my thing.
Essentials.
Yeah, like like early on in my career, that was how it was. But as I got more experience and like just chill, because you learn to like turn it on and off. Like,
Yeah.
because I know early on you don't know how to like just relax as a player and just play the game during the game, not play
Not
it too
before.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, not before. So I think later on in the game, in my career, I learned like that just to chill. Like I would probably just pack my stuff the next day, not as serious, but as soon as it's game time, like around 1 o'clock, I'm already like thinking about my role. And like I like listening to slow jams, a bit of a slow jams kind of person
Oh yeah.
before games,
Oh yeah.
because it
Well,
just relaxes me.
relaxes you like old slow jams.
Yeah, old slow jams. And
Yeah.
my mentality on the rugby field is I always tell people that I don't really get nervous for games,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
my
Cool.
my mentality is when I get on the field, rugby field, it's my playground. So
Yeah.
I haven't always thought like that, because I remember when I played sevens, my first World Cup, it was so funny. We were playing against, because when I first played sevens, I didn't think, I was like, man, I'm not even fast. This was before this whole professional realm happened, like
Yeah.
2009, my first World Cup. And then I was like, man, I'm not even fast. They're gonna run around me. Like, I'm not fit as these other girls. Like, that's my mentality going into this game. So
Yeah.
before Italy, I went to the toilet 8 times.
Oh
I
my
still
gosh.
remember it, because I was so nervous. And it was funny because in that game I got like 3 tries, and it was like, we're finished half. Like, it wasn't even half time, but I was like. Because I was still nervous during the game, and I said I need to go toilet.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that's how nervous I was. And it took me ages to train my mind not to be like that. And I think it comes down to like preparation, knowing that you've done the work, knowing that you're having the confidence that you're good enough to actually play that game. And
Yeah.
then I just switched it. And I said, oh, you know what? I've done all this training because I can go and the field can be my playground. So that's
Yeah.
always been my mentality since, is the rugby field's my playground. So I just go and have fun,
Run
not
amok.
worry about anything. Yeah, don't worry about anything. It's my playground, man.
Yeah. No, for
Yeah,
sure. And that's cool though, because obviously some people get nervous before games, but it's cool to so slow jams is the way to go.
just relax, nice and slow, calms the mind.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. What about like after a game, in terms of like recovery and but even like say for example you guys lost a game, like how do you switch off? Like you get those times when maybe just not using you, but just for example, like say you got to the end of the game and you might have knocked the ball, you missed a tackle and that lost the game. That like, have you
Mm,
been in those scenarios before where you've had to? How
yeah.
do you switch off or not hold on to that blame? Because obviously some players will go through it and it's hard
Yeah.
to try and switch off. What's your experience in that?
Yeah, that's actually a real good question, because like I said, because I've been playing so long, like earlier on in my career, I was real bad. Like, if you're a competitive person or play like high level sports,
Yeah,
like you're competitive, that's why you play that sport.
yeah,
So it doesn't matter whether you play a good game, like you've done how many good things and you did one little small thing, you're always not going to be happy.
yeah,
And I was that type of player. And like back then, early stages, we didn't have Facebook or this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
you couldn't really like talk to anyone about it. But it was funny because there was this one game, I think I knocked the ball on twice and we won. But my sister, like people that know me will
yeah,
know that I would have beaten myself up about that. And
yeah.
straight away, like I went on my emails, because that's how we communicated back then, just
That's right.
emails only. And then
Hotmail,
yeah,
MSN,
Hotmail, and I was Bebo.
high five. Oh my
Oh no,
God.
I don't know about that. I don't know
I
about high
can't
five.
do it.
But it was funny because I, like those that know me, yeah. So my sister messaged me and she's like, I know that you will. I know that I'm messaging you because I know that you're going to be giving yourself a hard time about that thing. And I was like, far out. And she goes, you need to look at the good stuff that you've done
Yeah.
rather than the two things that you've done wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's if you're a competitive person, that's something that comes naturally. But I think as I've gotten more experience, I've learned that if you know you've given your all, like in that game, and maybe you knocked it on or what, but that's rugby for you, and you got to make sure you look at that or that sport. I mean, you can always come back and work on it. I think a prime example was the 2009 World Cup. Sevens World Cup. We lost to Australia in overtime. Guess who missed that last tackle? Me.
Someone's still hurting.
No, but it was weird. You know what was weird? Like we missed it. We're gutted, but I wasn't gutted for long because I reviewed my game and I thought, like in my head, I was like, man, there's nothing more I could have given. Like I was giving my all. So when that game finished, yeah, we lost, gutted about that. But for myself, I thought, man, I gave my all. There's nothing more I could have given. Like I was gone. Like so, I think I walked away from that game. Like yeah, it hurts, but I know for myself, like if I look deep, like I did all that I could. So I didn't really hold on to that.
No, that's pretty cool that you bring it up. And you mentioned like reflection as well. Is that something that you do and have done like after I guess after a game, heading into a new week, getting ready for another set of training and prepping for the week after? Like, what does your reflection look like for you? Is there like video analysis involved, or is it more just like writing down a few points in it?
Yeah, so definitely video analysis. I think for me, like I don't like taking things of today to the next day. So after a game, I can't sleep unless I re-watch the game.
Okay.
So that's just me how I am. I always sleep late on a game night because I review my game and I just look at it. I'm like, okay, this is what I've done well. These are 3 things I've done well. These are 3 things I can work on for the next game.
Yeah, cool.
And then I just park it. I park it there. I slept. I've left it there, and then and then the next day is a new day, and we focus on the next job.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Is that something someone kind of taught you to do, or have you always done that? Even through stuff outside of sport, is something you kind of just grew up doing?
I think it's things that you pick up in the environment you're in. So when I played sevens, we did a lot of video analysis.
Yeah.
So but I think you kind of pick things up that work for you, and then you realize, oh, okay, actually, I'm that type of person that I can't ponder on things too long. Otherwise, I can't sleep, and I don't like. I'm the type. Me as a person, I don't like taking troubles of today to tomorrow. I like if there's something that needs to be addressed, I'll address it today, not leave it lingering.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's got its own worries. So I think with my approach with that's the same thing. Like with a game, whether we win or lose, just get 3 things, good things, and 3 things that like 3 good and 3 work-ons, and then park that game and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. Did you do the same as you stepped into coaching? Same thing in terms of reflection, or not so? Like to prep for trainings in it for the week after, or not so much?
Yeah, I think coaching's a bit different because you have a team of people that you reflect with. Like, so with our coaching team, we have catch-ups. So catch-ups on Sunday, we have a debrief, and we just give feedback to each other how it went. So it's real important that you have a team of people that can give you honest feedback about your performance as a coach.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of different to your own self-reflection as a player.
Yeah. No, epic. And obviously just coming to a wrap up, there's been heaps that you've covered, and I know for sure it's going to help a lot of people, because even if it just helps one person, to be honest, that's what the whole podcast is about, hearing obviously athletes' journeys and what they've been through to help encourage those, not ones that just play footy, but in general, in life as well. But for you, as a wrap up, what's probably one of the best advice that you've been given throughout your footy career that kind of helped you along your journey?
Oh man, I've had lots of little like gems like imparted into my life. I'm a bit of a quote person, so I love quotes, and it sticks with me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I know Davida, I remember when we played down in Canterbury. This was like one of my second years in Storm, and she was like, and all the Black Ferns ladies during that time, we just played on Saturday, and they're already up in the morning on a Sunday doing a run, like I don't know how many Ks.
Oh, true.
Yeah, they were running, and then I was like, oh, why are they running? And then she was like to me, while you're sleeping in, the other number 8's running out
Gosh,
there
someone told me
running.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that stuck with me early in my career. But one of the quotes I love that I believe helped me stay, because the thing is, the easy thing is making the team. Not that it's easy. That's the easiest part, but staying there is the hardest. Like making sure you're on top of your game, and like people always chasing you. So one of the best, or like one of my favorite quotes is, gifts and talents will take you to the top of the mountain, but character and integrity will keep you there.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, that's one of my favorite
Wait, hold
quotes,
on,
and I
just
reckon
write this down. No.
yeah. So I think the encouragement for people, like, man, if you're like, getting there is the easy part, but don't get cocky, don't get arrogant. Stay humble, always have that work ethic, and yeah, it's going to be about your character and your integrity that keeps you there. Because if you get there and your values and that change, and you don't remain who you are, then you're just going to get eaten alive, and you won't be at the top of your game. So just, yeah, that's probably a big encouragement to people.
No, that's it. But that was actually my next question: is what would your advice be? But you're just ticking boxes, mate.
Oh no, it's just, yeah, it's that, eh? Like I'm a big believer, like, just, don't be discouraged if you. I think a big thing that I've seen in the game now is that, like I mentioned before, people come into the environment and think they'll get a starting spot straight away. I think a big example is Fia'o Fa'amausili. She went to 2 World Cups, or like 5 World Cups maybe. Yeah, 5 World Cups. She didn't even play in the first 2 World Cups.
Shucks.
No game. She didn't even get her first start until she played in 2010 World Cup.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so if you think about resilience and waiting for your time, and when she got her opportunity, look how amazing she is. So like her likes of her, Charmaine McMiniman, who you had your podcast before her, she's like been behind like myself, Aroha, and that, and look at her now.
Yeah.
During that time when you're on the bench and waiting for your moment, man, make the most out of it. Because when you get your opportunity, look at them. Like Charmaine's doing amazing, Charm's doing amazing, Fee was awesome.
Yeah.
You just like buy your time, do the hard work. When it happens, then bro, you spread your wings and fly, man. That's your opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And because you can lose a lot of people during that time. They can get discouraged in that during that time and think, oh nah, I'm just gonna give it up. I guess it's not for me, But
give up,
to hear stories like that, man, to go all that way and still not get a spot. But yet she pushed through, man. Like and
2 World Cups, that's like a 4-year gap in between. And imagine how much training she would have been doing up until then. So
yeah, exactly.
That's resilience,
100%. Man, sis, thank you so much for your time today. I know I got a lot out of it, and I'm sure those that watch this will as well. But I really do appreciate your time. You're out of your busy schedule. Making time.
Out of my carooting.
After this, probably do some reading. I'm gonna pick up a new hobby.
I need to get my vocab up to scratch, yeah.
No, but thank you so much. Any final words before we sign out?
Not just hopefully everyone's staying well. Make sure you stay connected. If you guys ever need a chat, hit me up, hit Chanel up. It doesn't stop here, but yeah, just give us a yell if you need a chat outside of this.
Yeah, no, epic. And for those watching, obviously we'll drop Linda's Instagram down below. So if you've got any questions, why no, just down there, no. No, but if you do have any questions or anything like that, that you want to have a chat with Linda about, obviously just flick her a message. You can flick me a message, but she's probably got more answers than me. So, but no, thank you to everyone watching as well. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe. Keep up to date with who's on next. But till next time, peace out.